Welcome viewers to another edition of Brave Namibia, where we celebrate both ordinary and extraordinary Namibians. In our first clip today, we head east to Gobabis, where Jareen Hoff spoke to the multi-talented Svetlana Shihepo.
Okay, well, my name is Svetlana Shihepo. I am Windhoek born and bred, so I grew up in Windhoek. City girl, I guess you would say. Well, my schooling, I schooled in the Kommersdal area. I was at Elim Primary School, and then after that, high school, I went to Concordia College, and then my tertiary education I did at NUST, which back then was called the Polytechnic. About my studies, I actually studied IT, which was, I don't know if it's a faux pas in its own, because I was raised by my dad. And initially, I wanted to study medicine. My dream was to go study medicine in Germany. And I had actually gone a couple of times to sort of view where I was going to stay and the town that I was going to live in. And so after finishing high school, I was a year younger than my peers. And I could not apply for tertiary education immediately. And I was a science student. So my dad told me I had to go apply for tertiary. I applied for IT, hoping that I would not get in because I was a science student. So because I asked my dad for a gap year, he said no. So I thought, okay, let me apply for a field that I'm definitely not going to get in. I wrote the aptitude test and then I got in. Then I was stuck studying IT. Well, after tertiary, I worked for the Ministry of Home Affairs for a while in the IT department, and I sort of started, because I knew it was not really initially what I wanted to do as much as I enjoyed it. I started experimenting with baking, but it was more just for friends and family and things like that, and then it sort of unintentionally turned into a business.
What kind of baking was it?
It was mostly confectionery, so mostly cakes, cake decorating and some cake work and things, chocolate work and stuff like that. So, and I was asked by, I think it was my brother-in-law actually, a gentleman that's married to my cousin. He was running a coffee shop and he said, well, don't you want to supply us with cake? And then from there, it kind of just slowly transitioned into a business. I was supplying a few restaurants and coffee shops in town with cake. And then around the COVID, I think it was 2020, a lot of the places were closing down. Some coffee shops were scaling down. Some were looking at other alternatives as well. And one of the main coffee shops that I was supplying was located at the Windhoek. And I was working with 3 of their other restaurants actually. And they gave me the offer. They said, well, don't you want to work in-house during COVID? Things are quiet, business might be slow for you. You can come here and train somebody and we can sort of set up an impromptu bakery on the premises. And then I entered that, and then I dived headfirst into hospitality, which ironically I found very interesting because I've always been very passionate about service, and I think that's what drove me to want to go into the medicine field in the beginning stage, because serving people and in that aspect, that's always been a passion of mine. So when I came into hospitality and I was able to offer my expertise in the baking area, especially in the confectionery and pastry area, and just being able to assist with marketing and being able to assist with digital work because of my IT background, it kind of came full circle in terms of what I knew and what I was able to offer the business, and just to help, things move along. And now here I am. Being in Windhoek my whole life, and the fast pace and everything is on the go, and everybody's kind of trying to work their way up in whatever industry or whatever field you're in. I was looking for a different experience. I wanted a challenge. And so when I ended up here at Goba Lodge, having the challenge of sort of adding and assisting, or not necessarily revamping, but just adding to a foundation that is already so strongly built, and just being able to enhance that, it was a challenge that I was like, wow, this is it, this is me. I would be in a small town where I can sort of put my mark down and be able to really show not only in the industry, but to prove to myself also what I know I can do on the inside, and I'm quite excited for that.
What does your dad say?
My dad is very confused, I would say, sometimes, because he paid for an IT degree that I have no idea where it is now. But at the end of the day, I think he sees what I'm able to do with this, and he really, I think he's really happy for me because he can see that I'm in my element, and all the skills that I've picked up over the years, I'm able to implement that. And I think now he's like, okay, I get it now.
And any chance of you considering medicine again?
No, because what I actually did do, because of that passion of health, what I did do a few years ago, I decided to take up nutrition. So I got certified as a nutritional therapist. And for the purpose of mainly just incorporating health and wellness into the food sector and being able to add that on into the hospitality industry, especially in Namibia. So when I come to a place like Gobabis, just being able to make certain adjustments on the menu, incorporating healthier meals and teaching the staff or training staff. It's actually ironic what I found, that in a lot of the, especially the hospitality students, just being able to know the difference between when you get a guest who's gluten intolerant or who's vegan, being able to cater to those people and knowing exactly what it is that you have to do when they come into your premises. I found that it was such a good combination, and I feel like it gives me an edge in terms of what I can offer in this position in hospitality.
So what is the biggest challenge?
Getting people to change the norm, getting people to understand that we have to evolve as time evolves, as the market evolves. People are so conditioned now to do what they see on social media. They want certain things displayed exactly the way they see it. So changing the traditional concept of how things are done, especially in terms of a kitchen basis, adding those changes and just asking people to adjust and just fine tune things a little bit so that we don't look like we're not, on par with the rest of the world. That's been a little bit of a challenge, but I think we'll get there.
And what's next for you?
What is next for me is, in terms of here at Gobabis, or
your whole life. But you can start here.
I would say I would want to see the change that I'm able to influence, and the teaching that I'm able to give to the staff, and being able to see the business grow and develop in a positive manner. And I would want to sort of use that as my canvas for where I'm going to go in hospitality, and use that sort of as my market to know, okay, I can do this, and I'm able to, do it at a different level.
Okay, and then any advice you'd give to your younger self?
Be patient with yourself. Don't rush into decisions, but I would say, as young people, we will make decisions, and they don't always seem the right decisions, or they might sometimes seem like you're uncertain, but I think it always comes full circle, because it doesn't matter what you do, it doesn't matter what life decision, as long as it's a positive direction that you move your life in, it is going to come full circle. Definitely. So don't be scared to make decisions. Just live and experience life and see where it goes.
Newsprint Namibia is a web offset printing operation that specializes in the printing of newspapers and commercial inserts. We are the leaders in our industry, with the highest quality print work and the shortest turnaround time from computer to print and delivery anywhere in the country daily. Newsprint was established mainly as a newspaper print company, but had to diversify its business to do commercial printing as required in the market. We print commercial inserts previously printed in South Africa in the shortest possible time. We, as an organization, also started printing workbooks for our education system, and will also print textbooks for the Namibian market. For more information, please contact print@newsprint.com.
Next, we're in the capital. NMH's Wetuwemo Chicago caught up with Alexia Nawatises, who is the founder and owner of Lexi's Sweet Sensations.
As promised, I'm seated here with Lexi. Thank you so much for hosting me today.
You're welcome.
All right, now I'm invading your space a little bit. Just before, or just right after this, we'll get, baking, creating some sweet stuff. But before we get into that, please tell us a little bit more about your business and how you came about.
Okay, Sweet Sensations. Oh, Lexus Sweet Sensations.
Yes.
Sweet Sensations is a baby that I gave birth to. I call it my second baby. In 2018, I was employed at the bank, Nedbank, on a full-time basis. At the same time, I was a student at NUST, and then I was a mother to then I think he was 4 or 5 year old. So I was lost in not knowing what to do for extra income. But then I was also so passionate about cooking, not baking, but cooking.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would always cook on Sundays and then bake thereafter. And eventually, I decided to take the baking serious.
Why baking and not the cooking?
I would always bake for my son on his birthdays. And I didn't like the decor part, even though I knew how to bake. So I was just curious about this whole creativity, how to get a stable buttercream icing, how to balance this aesthetics onto the cake, So I then eventually started with the cupcake business, and then I also started with the treats, because the treats, the desserts, the cake jars. Sorry, I don't have one here, but I wish I had one to show you on camera. So the treats was basically a marketing tool to the business. So if I can sell a treat for $50 and the person tastes the treat, obviously that person can order a cake.
And they want more.
Yeah, so that was the whole idea with the treats. And even though I said I'm putting out the treats, I wanted the treats to stand out. So that's now the Sweet Sensation dessert, the cake jar that we sell on a daily basis. So I wanted them to stand out like in the market, and I wanted the product to go worldwide. I still want it to go worldwide because it's still not there, because it's just national. So then eventually with the daily practice, I improved on the skill. And then we are where we are right now.
Okay, so when you say improved on the skill, what are some of the tools that you used to improve the skill?
Okay, I made use of YouTube. Internet is the biggest tool that one can use.
Yes.
Yeah, so YouTube videos, daily practice, trying out new things. Eventually, I ended up going to resign from the bank. I'm self-employed now. So by the time I resign, I'm like, oh, Amara Bakes.
Yes.
Amara Bakes does the wow cakes. And she does a wow work in the sense of her work is neat. I like her final touch. So I'm like, okay, I need to visit Amara. So I booked then a class, a ganache class with Amara Bakes, a chocolate ganache class with Amara Bakes. And we had our day together, we did our thing, and then after that, now on to the skill that I already have and on to the good cake, moist textured cake.
Yes.
I then polished it with the chocolate ganache tip, and then the chocolate ganache, and then the fondant, because I never liked working with fondant, but I must say I enjoy working with fondant now.
Nice.
So that's how now that was the only training that I basically got on baking, which is the chocolate ganache training, which was basically just a day. It was just a day at Amara Bakes. We did what we had to do, and it was finished. From there, I just came home, and then I continued. Like I said, when you learn something, make use of it.
Nice.
So if you practice it, you will perfect the skill. So eventually, then I perfect my ganache skills, and then I started with the wedding cakes, etc.
Wedding cakes. Okay, so what other types of cakes do you prepare?
Okay, we do wedding cakes. We do the day-to-day household consumption cakes, which is just, let's say, we want to have some coffee and tea with a sensation treat on the side. Then we do cupcakes, we do donuts, we do cake pops, And we also do pastries like the pies. We do pie rolls. Yeah,
Okay.
quite a lot of products on the line.
So, coming this far in your entrepreneurship journey, what is one thing that you can say you're proud of for some of the achievements that you have now?
Some of the achievements that I'm proud of is the baking manual. My baking manual, it's done. We're just doing the final touches on the editing. I can't wait. I hope we're going to have it soon on the market. That's it. The desserts. The desserts, the market for the desserts, it's amazingly beautiful. Even on a Sunday when you're just lying to get some rest, the customers will call you, do you have some treats there? So yeah, the market, the sales on the desserts, it's like I said, I wanted it to go out and be a wow product and it is one. So I can say that is one. Number two, I'm proud of myself because I have 3 employees at the moment. I'm also giving back to the community. I visit the orphanage here and there, obviously give back to the nation. And I do a lot of training. I also have training as an extra service in the business. So we train people. I believe I've trained over 50 people this far.
Wow.
And I believe and I'm looking forward to train more. So I like the fact that I'm just not sitting with the talent that I have and that I'm able to transfer the skill. I work with corporates such as MTC. I've done some work for Sanlam.
Okay.
Yeah, I've done some work for quite a lot of corporates. So you see, I will not remember all of them, but at least what I can say is every day we have work to do, and I can't wait to get more work, and I can't wait to grow and recruit more people.
Definitely. I think we also just tapped into a little bit of some of your future goals that you do have for Alexia Sweet Sensations. But before we go, please do let us know where we can catch you, where we can reach out to you, whether it's on your social media or your location.
Okay, with the social media, I'm more active on my WhatsApp platform, Instagram, a good marketing platform, a good socializing platform. So it's Instagram, it's the WhatsApp, like I said, Facebook not really active. And then we are located in Windhoek. It's a home-based business, nothing but homemade goodies. Someday when I buy a house, I would love to have a very big building behind my house as Sensations. So at the moment we are in Windhoek, in Kwame Nkrumah Street at Colstrofus.
Okay, great stuff. Thank you so much. Let's head on into your little heaven and create some sweet sensations.
Thank you.
Finally, Diana Masters chats to Chef Phillip Kleinschmidt about the Chefs Association of Namibia.
They say good food is the foundation of genuine happiness. And I think I have someone here who would definitely agree with that statement. I'm joined today by Chef Phillip from the NAM Chefs. How are you doing today, Chef?
Diana, I am fantastic. It's really nice to be here. First time here in your studios. I love it here. Thank you.
I love your energy.
Oh, thank you.
I love your energy. It's very out there. It's
well,
very...
We work such long hours. We need to keep the energy up. Come
I
on.
can imagine. I can imagine. All right, so tell us a little more about the Chef Association.
Diana, the Chefs Association has really come a long, long way. We've been, I think, early 2000s that we started already, maybe even before that. I can't exactly, maybe even 90s, late 90s we started. And we are there just to see if we can promote and lift up this industry. I mean, I think people in this industry have just said now the long hours we work. And it's about that, about promoting food, about promoting chefs, about creating and inspiring people to make better food. I mean, I'm in the lucky position where I see what people do, and you know, and see how the industry grows. To see the standard of the industry growing, it is really incredible to see that, and that's why we are there. The Chefs Association is specifically there for that.
And why would you say that an association such as this is important?
We all need to stand together. The chefs in this country really work such long hours. We work, it's incredible. I don't think everybody realizes how long it works. You see people at a function, but we've done 4 or 5 hours before and 4 or 5 hours afterwards just to prepare everything. And to get everybody together and to promote the industry, to grow this industry, to see our young chefs learning new things, sending them overseas and getting that done. It's really important that we, for me, it's about this passion, about making food better. What do we do with make food better? We make life better.
We do.
And exactly.
Food makes the world go round. Forget about money. Food makes the world go round.
Our new logo just says everything. Nam Chefs for the love of food.
For the love of food.
That's why we are there. And that's why it's important to get everybody together. Let all of us stand together. I don't think we are doing it right at the moment. There's still some things which I think we as an association need to work at, to get the communication right with all our chefs, to get more people involved. And I want to talk about corporates getting involved as well as individual chefs, getting them involved. And if we can get more people together, we can stand together, we can be a spokes organization.
You can be one voice, basically,
with one voice.
Yes.
Speak to the government, speak to everybody, and get food in this country just better and better and better with a nice melt in the mouth taste.
I love the passion in your voice, the passion on your face. It says it all.
Thank you.
To be fair, I have the same expression whenever I'm talking about good food. So I understand where you're coming from. So you were recently appointed as the president of the Chefs Association.
Correct.
What do your responsibilities include?
Diana, that's a difficult one. As I just said now, I think we're not doing it right at the moment. I think there's a lot of scope for us to grow. And for me as a president, I want to see that growth. I want to see us getting more people involved. I want to see us, more people, more organizations involved. If I can get more organizations involved that's willing to give back to the chefs a little bit, then we can get more chefs involved. Because at the moment, as an association, what do we offer the people? We don't really offer them much. We don't really, we do the Chef of the Year competition. We've got other competitions where we are involved with and promoting food. We do a lot of judging at different venues where people ask us, just come and help us with this or that. We try and get to a new organization. Somebody just contacted us recently who became a member now with the hope that we can actually get a chef for him who can help him to grow his new business.
Oh, nice.
And hopefully that is the kind of thing which we as an association would love to do.
To get the chefs a little more involved.
I cannot do it by myself.
Exactly, definitely.
And at our last AGM 2 weeks ago, where I was chosen now as president, I've got such a good group of people together within our EXCO, within our executive committee, who can really grow this association. We've got people from the industry, we've got people, really, really great chefs. And I'm never going to say that I'm the best chef in the country. I'm the president, I'm available. But our chefs, there's chefs in this country which is absolutely amazing.
Okay.
And so I've got them, and I've got teachers. I've got people from NUST and people from Silver Spoon. I've got people from the industry, from Gondwana. I've got other people involved in our executive committee.
You have a great support structure, basically.
And so next time when we are here, come to talk to you, I hope one of our other members, our other executive committee members can come and speak. And also keep going this energy, as you said.
That is amazing energy. I can just tell, like I said before, I can tell that you're very passionate about food. I mean, to be a chef, one definitely has to be passionate about food. Where would you say your passion for food stems from? Why are you so passionate about food?
Wow. It started at a young age. I still, when I got married, and that started younger than that, but when I got married, I said, I'll do the kitchen, my wife can do the garden, please. I hate the garden, but I love the kitchen. So
I don't think I agree with you when you say you hate the garden.
No.
You like the garden because of the fresh ingredients you can get from the garden.
And that is the nice thing with the garden now. I can get a lot of my fresh fruit from there. I can get I've got about 6 or 7 different fruit trees in there, and I can get the fruit from there. I can cook my bottled stuff. And that is a nice thing about gardening, about chefing in Namibia. And there's so many of the lodges and so many of the places now that does fresh produce. You've got some herbs which you can pick up there quickly, and you can put that in your food, even if it's only as a garnish even. But our fresh ingredients and that on there, if you put a nice ingredient on the plate, if you start with a good ingredient, the food that you're going to get out, the final product is going to be amazing.
Yes.
And that is the nice thing about that. So use those fresh ingredients. Please, people, do this gardening stuff and grab those fresh basil, the mint or whatever from your garden and put it in your food. That is what it's all about.
Yes. So you said your passion, it was from a young age.
From a very young age. I remember at primary school when I would bake my own cake for cake sales at school and things like that. That was probably, I would guess, about 10 years old. And
wow.
My mom taught, my first cooking experience ever was probably with my mom in the kitchen. And so I would have some friends over, and my mom would lay out the whole kitchen floor with newspapers, and we'll be lying on the floor there and rolling, because we're not old enough yet to
reach the counter.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll be on the floor there and rolling out the little cookies and things like that. And my mom would bake it for us, and everybody, all my friends would take their cookies home. That's my first cooking experience I can remember. Then I remember doing chocolate fudge at some time, and at some stage in the chocolate fudge you need to put in egg, which you've got to mix in there. And my oil was still too hot when I put the egg in, so the egg became cooked immediately. But I stopped there, threw it out, did it over again, and that went to the cake sale the next morning. But I couldn't say that stage in life. I couldn't say that I'm the baker at home, because you know what it was like in the old days.
Exactly, yes.
A man is not in the kitchen. So yeah, at that stage he was kind of worried about that. But then later on in high school, I suppose, it became more normal. And yeah, did my own baking, did my own, I did flower decoration, just did about everything. And I have a wife now, so.
but she does the garden.
She does the gardening.
And you do
I get the flowers and everything from there. Exactly. Yeah, so we do a lot of cooking.
I would say it's a dynamic duo.
It works
Definitely.
well. It really works well together. And getting that fresh ingredients is absolutely amazing. The fresh basil. We've got different kinds of tomatoes all over. We've got this pepper to use in the garden. I've got the fruit trees, as I said. It is incredible. And to cook like that then, just amazing.
That is amazing. But do not go anywhere. We are going to take a quick break, and we will return with Chef Phillip as he tells us about an interesting competition.
Thank you for tuning in today. If you know of someone you feel should feature on our show, please contact us at brave@synergy.com.na.